back. And if we have enough time, I will pick up where we left off on Prince Andrew. But listen, while they in the Oval Office, the white and gold office, that I hate to tell him, that look hood all the way out. I ain't gonna. He don't put some blinds, a black, white and gold. Lord, Lord, Lord. But listen, please come in, hitting the like button. Hey, Mrs. Tom, thanks for coming back. Thanks for asking people to come back and hitting the like button. I got my battery bank right here to charge if I run out of juice. I got a little juice on it, so I think I'm set. But listen, Trump, he's taking questions from reporters in the Oval Office. Why is he saying since the what is it called, the Supreme Court of the United States saying that he didn't have the right to administer those tariffs? Why he's saying that y'all gonna have to pay back trillions? Pay back trillions to who? Who is y'all? You owe the taxpayer tree. Why is he telling? Why he's saying we? Who is we? We is the one that y'all was stealing. We paid it. This man is crazy. He steal from you in the front and try to steal from you. So now he gonna want the taxpayers to pay the money he stole from the taxpayers. You lying to me. Somebody better stop this man. Listen.
It would be devastating if we lost that ruling.
But before the Supreme Court issues a ruling, it could be several weeks. Are you going to lay out any new additional tariffs before?
I don't want to talk about it.
He don't want to talk about it.
I can't imagine that anybody would do that kind of devastation to our country. You know, we'd have to pay back trillions of dollars. We've taken in trillions. We haven't taken in billions.
No, No, you's a lie. You took in trillions. You stole the money. You made the deals. The hell you mean? We gotta pay it back. You gonna be devastated. I know you are, cause you stealing. And you and the people that you was stealing with and making deals with got to pay the U.S. taxpayers back. You gotta put that money back into the treasury. No. It ain't we. Unless you talking about you and your partners.
Anybody would do that kind of devastation.
Somebody be.
I don't want to talk about it.
He don't even want to talk about it.
Are you going to lay out any new?
We lost that ruling.
But before the Supreme Court issues a ruling, it could be several weeks. Are you going to lay out any new additional tariffs before?
I don't want to talk about it. I'm going to hope that we win. I can't imagine.
Nah, boo, you are not gonna win.
Anybody would do that kind of devastation to our country. You know, we'd have to pay back trillions of dollars. We've taken in trillions. We haven't taken in billions. We've taken in trillions of dollars. We've made trade deals based on that.
I told y'all he made them deals and he was having them people pay him back the money that they made off of the U.S. So he has taken in trillions and he's sick. I wondered if that guy that passed out behind him, was it his smell? You know, did he take some medicine? Or was he thinking about the money that they asses is going to have to pay back? Because they already know that the Supreme Court has said it's taxes. So whoever believed you, tariffs are taxes that the U.S. pay. But you thought them folks were going to let you make it. Yeah. I can't believe he don't want to talk about it. It would be devastating. Yes, it would be devastating to your bank account. So you're going to have to write something off again during tax season. Yeah, you Bibi Netanyahu, Putin, or China, whoever you done made them deals with, you gonna have to unask them Trump coins. Yeah, yeah. Give back all the money that that old boy paid you to get out of jail with the pardons. Hell, you didn't even know who you was pardoning. Yeah. Can y'all believe that? He said we. Who the hell is we? Somebody need to ask them. Who is we? Not the taxpayers, fool, because that's who you stole from. Again. You just got caught.
It would be devastating if we lost that ruling.
But before the Supreme Court issues a ruling, it could be several weeks, are you going to lay out any new?
You better leave them terrorists alone.
Talk about it. I'm going to hope that we win. I can't imagine that anybody would
Can't
do that
imagine.
kind of devastation to our country. You know, we have to pay back trillions of dollars. We've taken in trillions. We haven't taken in billions. We've taken in trillions of dollars. We've made trade deals based on that give us, as an example, European Union, $950 billion. Japan, $650 billion. South Korea, $350 billion.
It blows my mind that he thinks that he has made deals not knowing that terrorists was taxes. I think you know. I just think that you had these foreign countries pay you back the money that you milked the U.S. out of in other ways. How can you make these deals? Those foreign countries know that that's taxes that U.S. is gonna have to pay. They knew that. So they played your dumb ass, or they in the deal with you. But everything that you do, Donnie boy, you do against the United States. You understand? You don't milk foreign countries. You milk the U.S. Now, why you do that? Because you are a foreigner. And you have plans over there in Israel, the fake one, the 1948 one, and help in the rebuild. And you're going to have Trump and Jared going to have his business. Everybody going to have a business over there. And in the meantime, you're going to continue to steal from the U.S. It blow my mind that you have the nerve, the gall, and the audacity to say we, like the United States, going to pay ourselves back. Man, you need to resign. You need to resign.
Without this, we're not talking about that kind of money. And they're okay. They're satisfied. They love us. They just left. They all love us. So it's not like we're such bad people. But they would.
You're not bad to the foreigners. You made them money. Why would they not love you? You are an enemy of the United States. Stop letting people take your test for you. This is what happened when you let people take your academic test, your SAT. They get you in college based off of their smarts. And your ass is still dumb as hell. Yes, they like you. Because you stealing from the U.S. Yeah, absolutely.
So it's not like we're such bad people. But they were doing it to us until I came along. Now they don't do it to us. We do it to them a little bit. But if they took this away, we would be defenseless against tariffs from other countries.
Terrorists from other countries. Oh my God. Is he, hey, Natural in New Orleans, why y'all got this dumbass president?
Just left. They all love us. European Union, $950 billion. Japan,
Okay, so for the record, your president says that he don't even really want to talk about it. He's sick to his stomach. Yeah, he's sick. Because it's looking like the United States, the Supreme Court of the United States saying, why we here? You know, terrorists of taxes. And it comes out of the U.S. pocket. Taxpayers. And he looking stupid like we can't do the math. So, for the record, for the last time, your president is saying he really don't want to talk about it. It is devastating, just the thought of it. We, we, and I'm leaning all the way back out. We, oh no, boo boo, you in the wrong country. Ain't that French? Bonjour. Oh, you in wrong. Before terrorists, if he had asked Congress, they would have told him. He just was expecting for the people that he put in the Supreme Court was gonna back him and let him make it. I mean, I know he know all eyes is on him when he gonna try to act like we owed him $230,000, like nobody was gonna say foolishness. You had more than just documents you weren't supposed to have. You had top secret. Yeah, them charges wasn't bogus. So now you trying to steal again. You come up with more ways to steal. And if you will put that type of energy in place to help the United States and do your job, but you're too busy sitting over adjusting your catheter, trying to play golf, and running to the bathroom. They say you got paper signs all over talking about big bold letters like your ass can't read or see to remind you where you are. Oh, Lord. So he going back to elementary age where everything got to be big so that he can read it and see it. Big colors, big construction paper, just big because you don't know where you are in the White House. Oh, man. What do you mean be careful with this, God's daughter? What do you mean be careful with this? Please don't put a message like that and don't explain what you mean. What do you mean? Be careful how? What are you talking about? Come on, God's daughter, you holding me up. What are you talking about? Thank you. I mean, I think instead of hiding her, she needs to go. She needs to go forever. Yeah. Bye. Bye, God's daughter. Yeah, because I'm taking that as a threat. Yeah. Forget hiding her for 24 hours. She out of here. So like I was attempting to say, and hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like button next time before I put you out. Hit the like button. Yeah. So like I was saying, yeah, stop stealing. Stop stealing. If you had enough sense to use that time that you utilize coming up with ways to steal money and line your pocket to do your job. Yeah, I meant that. Now you tread lightly on somebody else's platform. We ain't paying back nothing. You owe that to the taxpayers. Talking about we.
It would be devastating if we lost that ruling.
Yeah, you lost it.
Of course, issues are ruling. It could be several weeks. Are
And
you
I don't
going to
suggest
lay
you
out
play with
any
another
new
terrorist.
additional
I
tariffs
don't want to
before
talk
then?
about it. I'm going to
I don't
hope
want
that
to
we
talk
win.
about it.
I can't imagine that anybody would do that kind of devastation to our country.
Now you
You know,
did
we
it to
have to
your
pay
country.
back trillions of dollars. We've taken in trillions. We haven't taken in billions. We've taken in trillions of dollars.
Ooh, he telling y'all
With
how
trade
much he done
deals based
stole.
on that give us, as an example, European Union, $950 billion.
Name the
Japan,
names.
$650 billion. South Korea, $350 billion. Without this, we're not talking about that kind of money. And they're okay, they're satisfied, they love us, I just left. They all love us. So it's not like we're such bad people, but they were doing it to us until I came along. Now they don't
He
do
talking
it.
about it's not like he's such bad people. After you done put money in their pocket. Do he really not get it? Hey, Specs? No, we just talking about Trump is realizing that the Supreme Court is probably more than likely about to hit him with these tariffs because he should have known that tariffs was taxes that come out of the United States pocket. He the president. You tried this your first go around and they told you that you couldn't. Anyone who's hoping he lost this case, okay, smack your mama. Get on up out of here. He was supposed to lose this case. The biggest heist in America, in history. Absolutely, Roxanne. Thank you. Yes. So let's say this. He should have known that he was milking the U.S. So no, sir. They supposed to love you. You love everybody who put money in your pocket. You was loving Charlie Kirk until he stopped going along with your program and started noticing things that you was doing that, now, is this what we doing? Yeah. He started peeping what was going on. He tried to talk to you. You told him to get up out your office. He started saying, don't get involved in that war. Don't push the bullet. And then you turned on him and told BB what he was saying because BB was putting money in your pocket. Yeah, so they're supposed to love you. You making them money. Yeah. So yeah, talking about we gonna have to pay back trillions. Well, you better contact Argentina, Qatar, who else? Israel, China, Putin. Yeah, everybody you done made deals with, they loving you. You keeping the peace. Your way of negotiating, keeping the peace was stealing from the U.S. So at trillions that you made, the U.S. didn't get it. You got it, sir. That's why you can't pay food stamps. Yeah, how you gonna say right here, we, the United States, made trillions and you saying we don't have money to pay food stamps. That's $1 billion. We don't have that. Yeah. God's girl, daughter, I thought I put you out. How you come back? Lord. Natural knowledge, you see that? Yeah, but his people should have told him that those was taxes. He had to know that. And it's just blowing my mind that he's up here telling these people it's going to be terrible. Terrible. It's trillions of dollars that they got that will have to be paid back. No, you're going to have to pay that back, partner. Because if we receive trillions, then why is there a problem paying for SNAP? Why is Michael J. Fox, little brother, talking about we don't have that money?
As an example, European Union, $950 billion. Japan, $650 billion. South Korea, $350 billion. Without this, we're not talking about that kind of money. And they're okay, they're satisfied, they love us. I just left. They all love us.
He don't
So
care
it's not
about
like
us
we're such
loving
bad
him.
people, but they were doing it to us until I came along. Now they don't do it to us, we do it to them a little bit. But if they took this away, we would be defenseless against tariffs from other countries.
Look at this picture up there. Oh Lord, what have I done? Oh my God. He always lying. Look at both sides are corrupt as hell. What do you mean both sides? What a JB Foot, what are you talking about? It's not a both sides situation. What sides are you talking about? What are you talking about? How did a side come in on tariffs that he is imposing? That he putting the proceeds in his pockets. What does that have to do with both sides? See how you have to blame? No, y'all don't ever take ownership of nothing. This is not a both sides. No, the tariffs is for foreign countries. Both sides didn't make the deal. He made the deal. What are you talking about? He went over there. He made the deals with Bibi Netanyahu. And he just told you the people that he made the deals with. They didn't have nothing to do with both sides. So don't come over here not being able to take ownership. Stop making excuses for thieves. Stop making excuses for thieves. Both sides. Like he had some Democrats in the foreign countries with him making deals. You sound slow as hell. Get off the little bus. Yeah, go get you some, what's that? Whatever that not ointment, supplements is. Get you some omega-3 to make your light bulb go out. Your spark plugs are out. Yeah, you need some omega-3. Brain food. Yeah, your brain is hungry. When was the last time you fed your brain? Yeah. Now let's move on to Candace. Yeah, because he done disturbed my peace. Talking about both sides. As if the Democrats is in office like they are able to make a decision. Yeah, no, I can't play slow with you. Never take ownership of his mistakes. No. You must be one of them type of people who always fuck up. Yeah, and never take ownership. Time out for that. I'm sick of trifling men who don't take ownership. You made a mistake. Acknowledge it and do better. Blame it on somebody else. Shut up with that stupid stuff. Your mama failed you. Yeah. You still act like a kid. Think like a kid. You was a liar.
May I have your attention, please, because today is...
I'm about to hear Biden in a minute. Biden filed. You can't blame nobody for that. These are deals he made. And when they told him to stop, he continued. So how can you blame somebody else for that? How many times did they have to tell him that he didn't have the power and he was rebellious. Now, what does that have to do with both sides? They have to put restraining orders and shit on a president. What does that have to do with both sides? There is both no. That's why I say people have to stop playing into that. It's both sides. No, it's not. And we got to stop making excuses for whoever is wrong. The hell is wrong with y'all? And he still don't want to pay the snaps. He got until Friday because the money was already allocated. Y'all don't get that yet? He already had plans with the money. He already had plans.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please, because today is obviously a day of celebration. Yes, in case you missed it, we officially have become the #1 podcast in the world. Not in America, okay, not in Europe. I am talking about in
Her
the world.
sarcasm is
and
funny
the
to me.
haters stay mad. Haters stay big mad on the internet, on
Big
X
mad.
today. It is just crazy town. I mean, Christian Zionist influencers are doing that thing where they attack me for telling the truth about something. It's so strange. I don't even know how to react to it. I'm going to do my best here. They're all weighing in and they're commenting and they're
Hey,
saying
Cynthia.
untrue about something that is literally true. It's
Yeah.
literally true. I
They
lived
in
it. It's such a
denial.
strange thing. It's like they're trying to wipe my own memory and wipe my own emails that I have. Of course, we are at first, before we get to them, going to cover the top viral moments from the heavily anticipated interview with Erika Kirk on Fox News with Jesse Waters. So let's get started.
You think I'm sorry, my I got good sarcasm.
Ultra-
Please hit the like
Okay,
button
first
coming
things
in.
first. Welcome to the #1 podcast in the world. It's here. You are here. We are all #1 in the world.
Let's
It's been
go.
trending on
Shout out to
Twitter. It's been
Candace.
so exciting. Look at this. I will never forget this moment. Candace Owens' podcast hit
Let's see what it say. Let's go. Oh, girl, come on. Can hit #1 worldwide without promotion. That's what's up. Shout out to you. Baby, that's just show how hard she go in the paint to find out what's going on, what happened to her friend. We should all have one like her. I ain't lying.
#1 worldwide. Best part, without promotion, which means we have not spent, since we started this podcast a year and a half ago, a single dollar on advertising, okay? Because we couldn't do it. We were a startup. I was fired. Things were down. It was real bad. And yet we are the #1 podcast in the world. Grok summarizes it this way. I'm going to read it. Conservative commentator Candace Owens announced on Thursday that her independent podcast, Candace, has reached the top global ranking according to PodScribe data following her 2024 departure from the Daily Wire. She credits the organic growth to criticism, legal challenges, including a defamation lawsuit from French President Emmanuel Macron and First Lady Brigitte Macron, and her small team's resilience. Owens attributes the milestone to divine intervention amid ongoing media attacks. Fact-checked. It's just true. All of it's very true. I am so excited. I would like to thank everyone but the Academy because the Matrix hates me. I will never win any more accolades, probably never be invited to a red carpet event, but that's okay because I've never been happier. And there are so many people to thank. It is true. We must thank Brigitte and Emmanuel Macron for that ill-advised lawsuit. Obviously, I feel like that ripped a hole in reality and
Was that
made things
E.T.
even more global
Phone
than they
home?
already were. I'd like to thank Kanye West, formerly Kanye West, he is now Ye, for the song Power, because the song Power really made me recognize that you have to stop listening to your haters. You also should recognize that you need the haters to inspire. that
Yeah, was
ripped a
that
hole in
ET?
reality.
Hold
It's
on.
okay because I've never been happier. And there are so many people to
Is
thank. It
that
is true. We
ET
must
phone
thank
home?
Brigitte and Emmanuel Macron for that ill-advised lawsuit. Obviously, I feel like that ripped a hole in reality and made things even more global than they already were. I'd like to thank Kanye
My
West,
God.
formerly Kanye West, he is now Ye, for the song Power, because the song Power really made me recognize that you have to stop listening to your haters. You also should recognize that you need the haters to inspire you to keep going. When somebody tells you you can't be something or you must be something, you have to stand up for yourself. You have to have the courage to say, I know the crowd is doing this, but I'm not doing it. And that was me when I no longer wanted to do the pro-Israel thing. Of course, as always, I thank Ben Shapiro. I thank Jeremy Boring. I thank the direction of travel. And they, realizing it before I did, that I should be fired. Thank you for firing me. But
That's
and
the
and
second bad
thank you for
lesson.
the publicity of the firing. Andrew Clavin, Christ is King. Thank you so much. You are a hero in my book. Tucker Carlson, I don't know. I feel like I should thank you because a lot happened because people thought that we were plotting behind the scenes and we never were. And thank you, Tucker Carlson, for the weeks that I get off when the media is attacking you instead of me. Now it's kind of together. It's Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, but thank you. I want to thank Australia. We see you, Australia. Tony Burke, thank you for banning us from an entire country. Even though I didn't do nothing, I literally didn't do nothing, but I'm banned. And guess what? You got to hear me anyways. Ha ha ha, Tony Burke. Okay, but in reality, also, obviously, thanking this incredible team, very small. It has stayed small. There's just 4 of us that work on the actual podcast every day. Savannah wearing a ton of hats, Chris in editing, Mark mansplaining, and also being our director, Skylar, the producer, who has to deal with my insane text messages all through the night because my brain is running a million different ways. It's just a really tiny little engine that keeps going, and so that's why we are actually resilient. We do need to hire more people, and you guys still are not getting a window in there. I just want to be clear. I don't want them to get too excited. There will never be any breathing room in the control room. And yeah, obviously, it's been a tremendous year, and mostly thankful to my husband for figuring out how to operate an entire podcast business. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he deals with things. He doesn't have time to even watch the show, and he's just constantly putting out fires. Could not have done this without all of you guys for letting me know that it's okay to just be honest. And it was definitely a trying year, realizing that, especially now, the conservatism thing, what is conservatism? The Republican Party is going through a moment. I don't want to be tied down to the Republican Party, and I want to be able to say something against Democrats and Republicans. And we're doing that. We're speaking truth. We're going to continue to speak truth, and we're very excited today. And one of the things that we are speaking truth about right now, and which my haters are like, it's because you're talking about Charlie Kirk. You know, you guys change this every month. First it was, oh, it's because of the Brigitte Macron thing. Oh, it's because of the Kamala Chronicles. Oh, it's because of the Blake Lively lawsuit. The common denominator here is me looking for truth. And I think people are catching on to the fact that I'm sincerely looking for truth, and I don't care what enemies I make along the way. And obviously, I'm making a lot of enemies right now, for some reason, looking into the Charlie Kirk assassination and the lies that we are being told. Anyways, let's get into Erika Kirk. Obviously, it was a very anticipated interview. I think we didn't really know what we were going to get. I don't know why I thought it was going to be like more about the investigation. And obviously, in retrospect, that's not what it was about because it's Fox News, and Fox News is not going to do this like heavy investigation. It was kind of more giving her a platform to speak about how things have changed for her, how things have changed for Turning Point USA, but it's like being at the helm of the organization. What are her thoughts about what that organization is going to look like going forward? And I'm speaking about Jesse Waters, who hosted this discussion, also trailed her at the event that she did with J.D. Vance at the University of Mississippi. Now, people around the world obviously have been moved by Erika's commitment to her Christian faith, the strength, obviously, that it takes for her to look after her kids, to look after herself, plus to steward this massive company, all while she's grieving, right? And that's kind of one of the things that stood out the most to a lot of people. But I would say the Christian message is what has resonated the most when she got up on stage and she said that I forgive him pretty instantly. I mean, when was the memorial event? It was only, 10, 11 days after he was assassinated? I think it was even less, maybe. It was like the 19th, 9 days after he was assassinated. Oh, sorry, the 21st. Mansplained in my ear. Thank you, Mark. So Jessie asked her about the harder moments that she has encountered becoming a widow. And she shared that nighttime is the hardest. She also shared her experience with the emotions of being a widow compared to the emotions that other widows may experience when grappling with sudden loss. And here's what she had to say. Take a listen.
It's so easy to be in a position of feeling regret when you lose someone you love. And I tried to read a book by C.S. Lewis because he lost the love of his life. He was only married to her for 4 years. It's called A Grief Observed. And it was a very hard book to read. Not because it was about grief, but because in the opening pages he talked about how angry he was with God. And I've never felt that. I'm not angry with God. Never have been. Never have I questioned, why, Lord, are you putting me through this? Why are you testing me? Why are you... Because God is so good, and he's so sovereign. And I know he uses everything, even what the enemy meant for evil. And I have no regrets.
So when I saw this moment, I was just thinking about myself and a lot of emotions and grieving that I have experienced and all the emotions that I've shared with you guys and the anger that I have felt. And I want to be very clear that I am not that example that she is giving. Like I could have never, and I know that so many people agree with this, I could have never
Thank you,
forgiven
Naturally Norms.
Tyler Robinson for whatever part he played in this. And obviously I'm saying whatever part he played in this because I don't believe that he was the lone person involved. I don't even think he's the person that killed Charlie Kirk. But even if you believe all of those things, I never could have
Thank you
turned
for
around
the
and
hearts
forgiven him
and the
that quickly,
brushes.
right? And I have not even processed. I definitely, when I prayed about this, asked a ton of questions to God. And yeah, she is absolutely right in what she is saying. And she is delivering to us what the biblical teaching is on these matters. But I could not feel that way. And so I was questioning myself, listening to this, like, what is wrong with me? Like, actually, what is wrong with me? Why am I not able to get to forgiveness? Why am I not able to, or why am I rather questioning and asking why, and why doing this to somebody so young? I mean, even my dad, by the way, was so impacted. He met Charlie a couple of times, but he was so impacted by Charlie's assassination that it made him go, I want to be, I remember my dad said this, like, I want to be a better grandfather and a better father, because I look at myself and I'm older and I haven't lived a life anywhere near as admirable as Charlie has lived his life. This is, my dad literally said this to me on the phone. And it makes me feel like, why him? Why did this happen to Charlie Kirk? And I just, I don't know. That's kind of what I was thinking. I was going, wow, what is wrong with me that I have felt all of those things, that she has had the wisdom to just not go through that, you know what I mean? Or not, I guess I shouldn't say not go through that, but not fixate on that. I couldn't today, after everything that's happened, be like, I forgive Tyler Robbins. I can't do it. I just can't do it. And I think maybe if I'm assessing myself and being hypercritical of myself right now, it's because I cannot forgive until I know what happened. I don't know what I'm forgiving, actually, until I know what happened. And this might move into what we're going to get into later, where she answers the question, we're going to get to it right now, actually, of whether or not she believes that they have caught the true killer of Charlie Kirk, right? Do you believe that? The person that we have in custody, is that the person that pulled the trigger? Is that the only person that pulled the trigger? Anyways, I want you to hear it directly from her and not me recapping what she said, or reiterating it, rather. It's gone viral because of what she didn't say, to be honest with you. Take a listen.
Do you think they've caught your husband's killer?
So, something I'm
Lord.
so grateful for is that we have one of the most incredible teams for this case. I would never wish it upon anybody to have to go through what we are going
Girl,
through.
yes or no?
To have seen the autopsy report, to have seen the different evidence portions that have been collected, I trust our team.
So it's not a straight yes or no,
No.
and the implication could be that she trusts the team to find more or to get answers, or if this is not it, to tell her what the true answers are. And I think that's why this is going viral, because they're going, okay, does she actually believe that Tyler Robinson acted alone? And obviously Jesse is not going to push her on that, because it would have probably felt more like an interrogation
Andy.
rather than just sitting down and speaking through some of these topics that are
But
probably
she didn't say
or talking
nothing.
about reiterating it. Rather, it's gone viral because of what she didn't say, to be honest with you. Take a listen.
Do you think they've caught your husband's killer?
You know, oh my God, I don't want to say anything ugly, but it looked like she, okay, her rings. What is going on with her rings? What? Oh my God. Oh, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I do not like it. There is nothing no one could say or do to make me not give direct answers about my husband. It ain't that I believe in who was the man in the all black on top of the roof. I thought I heard that old boy has a limp in his leg, so he could not have had that gun. I have seen a picture of the security guy with the alleged shooter with a military guy. No, I don't think that they have either the right person or all the people. If she wanted to go long way down the street and around the corner, end up at the store where you're able to answer the question. Amber Heard, girl, not even crying. I mean, the mere fact that you start on the outside, your end of your eye, instead of where your tear ducts are. Nothing fell back there, but you know that's where your eyeliner bleeds. Your eyeliner bleed in the back, so you are touching up your eyeliner from bleeding, baby girl. You want to make sure your face, and you want to make sure that you have a serious look on your face. What happened to your godly face? What happened to your grace and mercy that you had the last time when you was, let me tell you when. Hold up. I saved it for you, baby girl. Hold on. I don't need y'all to see all of that. Hold on. Yeah, right up here. What happened to, yeah. Let me show you. Yeah. Yo, lay your head on my pillow. Not that one. Where did it go? I know I didn't lose it. Oh my God. If I lost that, I'm gonna be really, really upset. I have held on to it for a very long time. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Where is that picture? When you had your head on Big DT chest. Where is that picture? Where you look like you was at home, sweet home. Please don't tell me I lost it. Picture done expire. Signature expired. Lord have mercy. I've been having that picture for Lord in heaven, I don't know how long. Just sitting here waiting to present it. And it's gone. God, dog. Okay. Let me get back. With her head out on his chest, laying, and she not giving it to me, y'all. I'm just telling you. And then her, them big ass rings on her finger. It's like, girl, what are you doing? I mean, ugh.
For this case, I would never wish it.
Unforgiving, actually, until I know what happened. And this might move into what we're going to get into later, where she answers the question, we're going to get to it right now, actually, of whether or not she believes that they have caught the true killer of Charlie Kirk, right? Do you believe that? The person that we have in custody, is that the person that pulled the trigger? Is that the only person that pulled the trigger? Anyways, I want you to hear it directly from her and not me recapping
Yeah, it was disgusting,
what she
Michelle.
said, or reiterating it, rather. It's gone viral because of what she didn't say, to be honest with you. Take a listen.
Do you think they've caught your husband's killer?
So, something I'm so grateful for is that we have one of the most incredible teams for this case. I would never wish it upon anybody to have to go through what we are going through. To have seen the autopsy report, to have seen the different evidence portions that have been collected, I trust our team.
So it's not a straight yes or no, and the implication could be that she trusts the team.
Which team? The team where the guy was pulling on his ear, twitching on his glasses, and doing hand signals, and didn't pull out a gun, didn't return fire, didn't, what? That handed somebody something, didn't have blood on his hands. Another friend who was standing there, as soon as the gun went off, he turned and walked away, didn't look back, like he was some secret agent or some shit. Didn't render aid, never called 911. The other cat that went up past it to be diagonal to the car that never left and did a selfie video. You talking about that team? Okay.
To find more or to get answers, or if this is not it, to tell her what the true
She gonna
answers
fart
are.
trying
I think that's why this is going viral, because they're going, okay, does she actually believe that Tyler Robinson acted alone?
She
And
look good
obviously
and
Jesse
phony.
is not going to push her on that, because it would have probably felt more like an interrogation rather than just sitting down and speaking through some of these topics that are probably hard to talk about in general. But I am hopeful that what she's implying is that she trusts her team to do the due diligence. She says that she has seen the autopsy report. She has seen.
Baby girl, I mean, you trying to be nice. I appreciate that, Candace Owens. I really do appreciate that. But what I'm finna say, I'm gonna tell you what God love, and God love the truth. You, the team that has done more for Charlie real case than the cover up case that they is trying to put together. Let me say that again for the ones in the back. Let me say this again. You, Candace Owens, you, yeah. You have done more for the real case than the cover-up case that they playing with Charlie Kirk. Yeah. If you wasn't on a real case, they would have been playing out in our face. See, you made them shut up, baby girl. You made them say, hold up. Candace is pulling out. She challenging. She wants you to say something. She wants to be able to dissect anything you say, so say nothing. Because if it's anybody that's going to be able to go back in the archives, it's her. So don't say nothing. And since she's been on it, they've been silent. Okay. So stop making excuses for folk, Candace. I know that you are trying to be nice for Charlie's sake, but you are the one who's done the work. Let's go.
And rather than just sitting down and speaking through some of these topics that are probably hard to talk about in general. But I am hopeful that what she's implying is that she trusts her team to do the due diligence. She says that she has seen the autopsy report. She has seen certain things. Obviously, none of us have seen the autopsy report. And I don't know. I didn't know what to make of that. Is she saying that there's more that's going to come out? Is that kind of a foreshadowing that more is going to come out and things are going to be clear? I hope so. I really do. Because in terms of what the public has seen so far, I would say nothing has been convincing. And I'm trying to imagine what they would have that the public hasn't seen that could be sort of a smoking gun. And in theory, it would be the footage, right? Tyler Boyer said, we have footage in 4K, all of the stuff when he was tweeting. And similarly, not the university, but somebody else was saying that, at every angle, every area of the university is covered. Their excuse for not showing the public was they didn't want it to in any way impact the case.
What
Swap
case?
your bedtime milk for this recipe and save your
Sense to me. That excuse has never made sense to me. In fact, I would imagine that when there was a manhunt going on, before you were even thinking about the case, but rather thinking about keeping people safe, that would have been a good time to drop some clear footage of the individual. But it's possible. It's possible they have actual clear footage of Tyler Robinson jumping down onto the rooftop and firing the shot. That's all possible. And so we're just going to have to wait and see on that. Now, I'm going to say...
But what about the guy in the all black? So we going to act like we didn't see that? Are we going to act like the 911 call did not say that they was looking for a guy in all black vest, black tactical hat? I mean, are we going to act like we didn't hear that? I mean, because I can't forget what I saw. I mean, and I know that who they have is not the guy that was walking up them steps. And when I looked at that picture again, I just kind of looked at it a little bit. And the way that man was standing in the military uniform, it almost made me think that that is the guy that was standing up there in that all black. Him. Kind of the way he was standing and looking out with that all black on, with that tactical gear. That could have been him. Looking just like he was looking right here. That could have been the all black guy. Because all three of these people were there. Let me take this up. Take this down. It's just the way he's standing there looking. Because that's the guy that was walking up them steps. And it blows my mind that they go back and find a whole 9th grade picture of Charlie Kirk. And he don't even look like that now. And this is the security guy. So right here, I'm seeing an all black standing there. I'm seeing him. Now, it may not be. But when I look at and remember how that guy in all black was just standing there, that could have possibly been him. And why is he standing here with the alleged killer? No. I ain't buying it. I ain't going. Okay, let me get back to Candace. I'm gonna tell you that now. So what team? This team? I just need to know what team she trusts with her beloved Charlie. Okay, let's get back. Y'all got my likes up. I ain't buying it. And you ain't either, child. I can see it all through your face. I can see it all. Right here, I can see it in your face, Sugar Plum. You ain't buying it. I don't think that is who killed Charlie. You talking about that little boy? You believe? Okay, so Brian, you said I believe that was him. You talking about the military guy that had on the all black that looked like that could have been him? And then you said, I don't think that is who killed. So, yeah, no, that Charlie, no. But why is the guy that was walking up the steps that they tried to act like was Charlie? Because that's not even who jumped down. Whoever was walking down the street with one leg, that's not who jumped off that building. Because remember, they said that he had a deformity. He walked with a limp. And boo, deep down inside, you not feeling none of this. Oh, yeah, she know. Yeah, she know. But she trying to be nice, though.
Personally, and maybe even selfishly, probably selfishly, again, I'm fallen. I am very fallen, obviously. I was extremely excited that she responded to the Catholic innuendo once and for all in her own way. Obviously, it was not a direct question or anything. But two things happened here. One, you probably didn't catch, which is behind Jesse and Erika as they're walking backstage at the University of Mississippi event that they headlined. There was a priest. Look in the corner there. I know a priest.
Oh, it sure is a rabbi. Hold on. Rabbi Louis. And who are these folk over there? That's her mom and daddy. Yeah, there go Rabbi Louis. Okay, let's hear this.
Scholar when I see one. Yep, that is the same priest that she took with her to the hospital when Charlie was shot. And I don't know. I am maintaining that I think this may have been about more than the architecture. And in case you are not there yet, in addition to that, and I don't know.
How do you take, hold on. Oh my God. Okay. How do you take a priest with you to the hospital when your husband is there? How do you take him there? Did you wait on Rabbi Louis? Was he near? Do he stay with y'all? How did you go pick him up? How did you get to the hospital? I mean, typically, they have a chaplain at the hospital, right? And if you typically you call the pastor, the rabbi, bishop, deacon, brother, doc, and they come to the hospital. How you just gonna have one on hand that's gonna ride with you? Was he already at the house? I mean, what are we doing? I mean, I know you have your pastor, preacher, rabbi on standby, but you already got him with you? You waited for him to get to you to ride together? Or you took the time out to go and pick him up while your husband is dying? Which one? I'm sorry. What are we doing?
That they headlined, there was a priest. Look in the corner there. I know a priest collar when I see one. Yep, that is the same priest that she took with her to the hospital when Charlie was shot. And
That she took
I
with
don't
her
know.
to the hospital.
I am maintaining that I think this may have been about more than the architecture. And in case you are not there yet, in addition to that, the priest being caught behind the scenes there, they travel with Erika and she discusses Charlie's affinity for Saint Michael. Take a listen.
When we first started dating, I asked him, I was like, why don't you wear a cross? I was like, why? You say you're a Christian, but you don't wear a cross. He's like, I don't know. I'm not a jewelry guy. And I was like, I understand. So for his first birthday present, I got him this cross. And then throughout time, I would always add different medals to it. And so he loved St. Michael. And so, yeah, every time he'd put this on, he just felt like it was his armor.
Are we done here, guys? He felt like St. Michael was his armor. Okay. Now, I wanted to point that out because in retrospect, I get more and more just amazed and upset at how vicious and cruel and unnecessary people are. Just all of it was his armor.
She said,
And I was like, I understand.
a Christian.
There yet.
Hold
In
on.
addition to that, the priest being caught behind the scenes there, they travel with Erika and she discusses Charlie's affinity for Saint Michael. Take a listen.
When we first started dating, I asked him, I was like, why don't you wear a cross? I was like, why? You say you're a Christian, but you don't wear a cross. He's like, I
Christian.
don't know. I'm not a jewelry guy. And I was like, I understand. So for his first birthday present, I got him this cross. And then throughout time, I would always add different medals to it. And so he loved St. Michael. And so, yeah, every time he'd put this on, he just felt like it was his armor.
Are we done here, guys? He felt like St. Michael was his armor. Okay. Now, I wanted to point that out because in retrospect, I get more and more just amazed and upset at how vicious and cruel and unnecessary people are. Just all of the videos people made when I wasn't even mentioning it as a big deal. I was doing a tribute video to Charlie and being like, we were all hoping that he was going to take the step and become Catholic, gave no details. And the next thing I knew, Operation Christian Zionist Influencer was, while I was in a state of trauma and grieving, coming after me and saying that it wasn't true. And I don't think any of them have made videos since clarifying that no, Candace seems to have been telling the truth, because who cares about the truth when you can just like dunk on Candace? But I thought that was a very natural way to kind of respond to it. And, she's probably not going to give us any more because she doesn't have to give us any more. Like I said from the beginning, he didn't convert to Catholicism, but it's just kind of okay for us to tell the truth about where he was at on his spiritual journey. I don't know why that's a big deal at all, outside of just hating Catholics, which is what I am receiving a lot of that as. And there's just been so many lies that have been told, and we're going to get into more of them later. And the frustration that I have with people who purport to care about Charlie, why they peddle
They hate what?
Tell the truth about where he was at on his spiritual journey. I don't know why that's a big deal at all, outside of just hating Catholics, which is what I am receiving a lot of that as. And there's just been so many lies that have been told, and we're going to get into more of them later. And the frustration that I have with people who purport to care about Charlie, why they peddle ridiculous, tiny lies, doesn't make sense to me.
Because they didn't
Anyways,
care
but
about
keeping
him.
with Erika's interview, she was asked directly, and this is probably the most viral moment from the sit down, about how she personally feels about the conspiracy theories that are circulating regarding his murder, and here is her answer.
It's so easy to become a podcaster with Riverside. You just need a concept and a way to record.
There's other theories swirling around about Charlie's assassination.
Right.
How does that make you feel?
When everything happened, my phone died and became a black hole. I just didn't turn it on for weeks on end.
I agree,
I've
Argentry.
intentionally insulated myself because I need to guard my heart, and I need to be there for my kids, and I need to be there for Turning Point. And what I've realized through all of this is that everyone grieves differently. Everyone is trying to figure out, and I don't blame them, how does this happen? How does somebody become so radicalized where they can justify this in their own head? We just lost one of the greatest voices of our generation. Why? How? What's behind it? Like, everyone's trying to process this. And I respect that. But where my heart is just asking for some grace is for the ones who were there that day. They have to
Y'all help me understand what them initials are on her hand that she keeps putting up there every time she wipes her eyes, and she look like she just kind of y'all help me. I mean, this is not the 80s or the 90s. Why does she have them big old
Swirling
ass
around
rings on her
about
finger?
Charlie's assassination.
right.
Now, y'all may, I don't know, may go back in the day and find a picture of AunTeaFee with a ring on every finger, gold bracelets, you know. You may be able to find a ring with tons of gold on. Okay? But it is 2025. Why is she hauled out on her hand? I'm having and what what are the initials? It would be different if she had a CK on her hand. No, baby. No.
How does that make you
I'm
feel?
just trying to understand what are the
everything
initials
happened,
for.
my phone died and became a black hole. I just didn't turn it on for weeks on end. I've intentionally insulated myself because I need to guard my heart, and I need to be there for my kids, and I need to be there for Turning Point.
Why she gotta? I don't get none of that. Why are you talking about guarding your heart? You're grieving. I mean, it's like guarding your heart, like dating. I understand, you know. Yeah, but you not dating, are you? I don't get none of this. I ain't gonna even lie.
And what I've realized through all of this is that everyone grieves differently. Everyone is trying to figure out, and I don't blame them, how does this happen? How does somebody become so radicalized where they can justify this in their own head? We just lost one of the greatest voices of our generation. Why? How? What's behind it? Like, everyone's trying
Oh, she
to process
matching the
this.
ballroom. Y'all, what is that? MG. I'm telling you, these look like the 90s, 80s, and 90s rings. Them big old gaudy rings. It's like this is a corn ring. They got down. I mean, what is MG? That she intentionally turned that way so that we could see those initials. Yeah, no. And then you talking like you got to guard your heart like somebody trying to come, like, you talking relationship talk. Oh, that's MAGA. Girl.
Somebody becomes so radicalized where they can justify this in their own head. We just lost one of the greatest voices of our generation.
Guarding it from the truth, okay?
Why? How? What's behind it? Like, everyone's trying to process this. And I respect that. But where my heart is just asking for some grace is for the ones who were there that day. They have to relive that every single day. He didn't die in a car accident. He didn't die from cancer. He was assassinated.
Yeah, this nasty work,
And the
yeah.
difference between this and previous assassinations in this country is there was no social media. There was no AI. I can tell you how many fake images are out there of all of this. And again, my only request is that just please pray and consider.
That's what I was thinking too, Brian.
Whatever you put
And
online,
hell, Donald
because
Trump
it's going to
too.
impact his kids in the future. I don't want my kids to go on the internet one day when they're older and see things that it's just. We're all trying to process this in their own way, and I appreciate
She making
that.
sure her eyes are not,
Some
her
grace.
mascara is not running.
So I think it's a gracious answer, and I think it's a gracious request to, assert first and foremost that people are doing this because they care and they care about Charlie, and also this was a traumatic event that the entire world experienced, and also the reason why the internet is
Okay,
investigating is because the feds aren't.
hold on. Okay, let me read this. Let me read it. I see you down there, Mrs. Thompson. That's the word. She's talking about what in the hell is she wiping? She knows deep down in her heart what's behind it. She's afraid to face it. They just took over her husband's organization. Okay, Sheen. Okay, I'll say it. My husband passed a few years ago. There is no way I could do all this speaking about something at all this few days after he died. I'm sorry. I don't believe it. Okay, I don't either. And I know people grieve different, but you wiping your face and your eyes like you crying and not a tear has fell. So it's like, girl, stop playing. And you're trying too hard to have this stern, this intense look on your face like it's really heartfelt. But listen, I'm going to be honest. In some of the topics that we've talked about spiritually, I have given more emotion in some of our conversations than she has given to me. And she knew him. She laid with him. She had babies with him. And I've had more empathy, more compassion. At times, I have to get off the live. Yeah, yeah. And I'm going to say this, she really ain't said nothing to me. It's like you did this interview, but you ain't said nothing. You've not said anything. You said guard your heart like somebody was trying to step to you. You said you trust your team. No, because if you really trust your team, then you would have said, this extra conspiracy stuff. I wish I would stop. Stop already. What are you double checking? What is it for? We know for sure who did it. She's not saying that. Yeah, so I don't know if she feels like her life is in danger. She just have to go with the flow, because if Charlie told an email that he didn't think he was going to live long, or he knew that they was going to get him, surely he told his wife, right? If he told anybody, if anybody else, his partners, Candace, Tucker, anybody, if it came out of his mouth or typed on the email, a text, surely he told that to his wife, right? Okay. So why haven't she given any indication of that? If you talking, you better off not saying anything. And I know Candace knew Charlie longer than O'Gurr did, but it's almost as if Candace knew him better than she did. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. And that's why it's a difference in Candace really wanting to know what's going on and her just going along with the program. And I have a problem in the back of my brain, the back left side. Which side is more dominant? One of them you more dominant than the other. Whatever is the most dominant part, left side, whatever, her knew Trump. Like Candace knew Charlie first, she knew Trump first. She been knowing Trump since she was a late teenager. She used him to build Turner. Okay. She been knowing Trump, and she still interact with him. Yeah, it's a no for me. She does not. You have to
So I think
remember
it's a
she was Miss
gracious
America.
answer,
Yes,
and I
I'm
think it's a
talking about
gracious
Trump.
request to, assert first and foremost that people are doing this because they care and they care about Charlie, and also this was
That's
a traumatic
true.
event that the entire world experienced, and also the reason why the internet is investigating is because the feds aren't, and not only are they not investigating, they're telling some pretty obvious lies, right? Number one being that he was shot by a 30-06 and stopped the bullet, when in a normal circumstance,
Yeah,
it would
Shane,
have
that's what I just
decapitated him.
said.
Like a 30-06 would decapitate someone.
And
And because they've been so
she
ridiculous,
also
and
had a nonprofit where she was grooming little girls, little kids. That was a part of her consolation prize when she won the pageant. So yeah, so that she had to let go of because of fraud, possible fraud, and some things with them kids. But she definitely won the pageant. Got the she was used to funnel kids. She's a funneler. She on the cool is a Ghislaine Maxwell.
then gaslighting us by being like, you're dishonoring Charlie's legacy, people are digging their feet in the ground because it's just disrupts us spiritually to watch something like that and then be told like nothing to
Rabbit
see
hole
here.
goes deep.
Now,
You
here's what I will
right.
say about her request to consider the people that were there that day.
What's down there?
This is where it's
Oh,
going to be
oh
really
Lord.
hard for
I don't even remember when oh, okay. That commercial. Okay, I'm sorry.
Erika to be a CEO and to be exact specs are, because they watched Charlie Kirk die, or maybe they didn't see him die, maybe watched him get shot, heard the shot, who knows what the exact specs are. This is where it's going to be really hard for Erika to be a CEO and to be somebody who is a widow at the same time, right? Because the messaging that is coming out of Turning Point USA, so this is Erika in her CEO and her chairman capacity, has just been unacceptable, right? It can't be both. It can't be, okay, everybody, we're gonna keep going, and Mikey's gonna take over for Charlie at his Liberty event that he has, which is gonna be sold out. And Turning Point USA people who are directors of faith are gonna be telling you, like, Mikey's got what it takes, here's what, blah, blah, blah. And then Mikey's gonna tell stories about that day, go on his show multiple times, Andrew's gonna talk about it, everyone's gonna talk about it, and they don't wanna talk about the stuff that we care about. Like, this is what it means to have a podcast, right? You can't want fame only on your command. This is kind of the Meghan Markle thing, right, that we talk about, and I'm quoting this to Mikey McCoy. It's like everybody wants to be famous until you're famous, okay? We want privacy now. Well, it doesn't actually work that way. You don't get to be like, I want to marry you and I want to be a princess, and then become a princess, and you're like, well, I don't want to be a princess, right? It's kind of, you got to pick one or the other. So if there were Turning Point individuals who were so traumatized that day and they needed to go away, I mean, I had to go away for 2 weeks to collect my thoughts about the trauma that I saw having watched it. And a lot of people I know that had to take breaks. I had to take the show off the air for a couple of days. And they just, needed time to process. It'd be a little bit different. Actually, it's almost came across like they needed zero time to process, and they were kind of annoyed that the world needed time to process. And then the things that they were telling us were lies. We were able to factually debunk things that we were being told. And then you've got people like Tyler, who's featured in this, Tyler Boyer, who you're the chairman and the CEO. Tyler Boyer is a sexual deviant, right? Why do we have to because he was at the hospital, give him grace? It's like, no, this is this is now what's at the head of the
A
company.
sexual deviant.
Charlie's not there. We want to make sure that this company
what?
is going to be committed to truth. We want to make sure this company is not going to be telling us that we can't care about this or not be focused on that, because we need to decide whether this is still the same company. That's what it means, right? Is this still the same company? And so I think with the McCoy thing, everyone wanted a stage until you got a stage, okay? And people started going lie, 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 right? Case in point, Alex Clark wanted to do the Wall Street Journal thing until I caught like this little lie. And it's like, what are you saying this thing about Catholics? That's not true, okay? Take the stage or don't take the stage, but it can't be in between. And then suddenly when the public turns against you, yeah, I don't want a stage anymore. That would be my response to that. And I do not have any sympathy for Rob McCoy. I have no sympathy for Mikey McCoy. I have no sympathy for Tyler Boyer. I think telling the truth is a very easy thing to do when you have a microphone. And if you don't want to tell the truth, it just makes you look more suspicious. And I can give you an example of that. There was some kid who was wearing green at this UVU event, right? They looked kind of shady. There was a ton of rumors. We got a bunch of emails, but I never covered it on the show because I didn't think there was anything beyond the fact that he looked kind of shady in a green hoodie. And I think it was yesterday, Sam Parker was like, who are these guys? And I can't get a clear image of this person. I then respond to him like, here's a clear image of this person. The actual person wearing the green hoodie then responds very quickly. He's like, that's me. Sorry, I dressed weird. I think he's on the soccer team at UVU. And that's it. It's over. And nobody is talking about the green hoodie. Here he is, Colby Sessions. Hey guys, this is me. My teammate and I were just on campus to get food and stopped by the event. We always wear silly stuff like that. Sorry guys. That's it. How easy, right? How easy. He's not like, I'm a victim. Call a lawyer. I can't believe somebody asked a question. I can't believe there's interest in this event where an assassination took place. No, people are asking because they're well-meaning, and he just comes right back and answers it, and it's over. That's how easy, that's how quick, that's how painless it is when you simply tell the truth. And I just don't feel that anything that's been easy to clarify has been done, and it can't be because they're in a state of mourning, because they were like back on their feet the next day and giddy and sharing memories and talking about what happened on that day in detail. So, except for the parts that we want to know about. I don't know. It doesn't work for me.
His friends sacrificed him. They knew what was going on. They didn't want to. They don't want to leave Trump and the pro-Israel cause. This is bottom line. More than one person knew. More than one person agreed. And they staged it. It's just that simple. He just never saw it coming. And just like Candace and Charlie believed in the Trumps, and I think that they believed in Trump more than they believed in Bibi Netanyahu. They enjoyed the experience, the traveling and the learning, and thinking that they had found somebody who would sponsor them and support them with millions. All to find out that they were being used. It wasn't coming from their heart. They just didn't decide, okay, yes, we will sponsor you. You had to do it the way they wanted it done, and pushing who they wanted you to push. That's what the donation, the sponsorship was about. And once they convinced Charlie to fire his friend, and then he started back mingling and dingling and dangling with them and interacting with them, he started changing. And they couldn't afford for that to happen. It's just really that simple. And because Erika was a plant, it was arranged. And it sounded like she may have began to like him, or when she said, I really did love you. You know, maybe it grew from just being a plant to actually having feelings for him, but she still knew she had a job. Now, as it pertains to Candace, I just hope that her husband, I've not done any research on him, but I just hope that her husband was not a plant. Because it's a lot of planting going on. And I just hope that her husband was not a plant. Go on.
If you guys want to watch that interview in its entirety, you definitely should. It is available on
And baby, when you say delete a person in public, yes, spec. But guess what? They done pretty much deleted him from Google. Try to Google him, and all of that stuff that was out there in the beginning, all of that is gone. They deleted him in life, and they deleted him for the most part online. You can't you can't just Google him and get all of that stuff that was out there. They don't watch that, baby. They don't watch that. You understand?
Fox News Prime Time, Jesse Waters. And that's what we're going to say about that. Take a brief break, and we're going to get into some Christian Zionist influencers.
Well, we're going to be married at first sight.
Oh wow, I am so sorry. I do that every time those commercials. I'm sorry. Here we go.
All right, let's start with a little back and forth that I had with Allie Beth Stuckey online. I'll start actually by
Thank you,
saying some
Natalie
nice things
Nolan.
about Allie Beth Stuckey, because one of the things that I am working on is being a lot more measured when I'm ticked off about something, and I realize that this particular subject is just, I just instantly want to go claws out. And there's a lot of great things about Allie Stuckey. I've actually worked with Allie Stuckey at various events. I've spoken with Allie Stuckey. She's been on my podcast multiple times. She's been a panelist back when I was on The Daily Wire. I'm referring to, she debated my husband before I was Catholic. They had a very good sit down, and she's always been very kind. Behind the scenes, I will always tell you guys, if there's tea, there actually isn't any on Allie Stuckey. She's always been a very lovely person. And especially because when I was first coming into the industry, and people were dunking on me for all sorts of things, she actually hosted me on her show and had a conversation rather than just kind of joining the choir. So yeah, I am not addressing this because Allie is a bad human being. And I'm addressing this because she has been addressing me actually, subtly, subtweeting these sorts of things. And I feel like it's fair that when people engage in that sort of behavior that I get to respond. Somehow, people are allowed to talk about me, and then when I respond, some people will suddenly be like, I stand with so-and-so. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm just answering someone. For me, this topic, Charlie Kirk,
I
who
agree,
murdered him,
Dots.
there isn't a single topic
Dotsy
in
doodle
politics that is happening
doodle.
on this planet that I care more about, okay? It is the killing of Charlie Kirk and nothing else for me. And in the aftermath of his assassination, people were downright nasty to me. You saw that. It was definitively not organic. It was this weird need to assert his legacy as a Christian Zionist. By the way, I'm not including Allie in the downright nasty category whatsoever. But she was one of the voices who cast unnecessary shade, I would say, on my account of him becoming Catholic curious. And it was unnecessary, I would say, only because she could have texted me. She has my number. This is one of the things that Matt Walsh recently said, that he views it as such a form of disloyalty when you have access to an individual, but you will instead go onto your platform to say something about that individual when you could ask for clarity, right? She could have messaged me and say, hey, I've never heard anything about Charlie being interested in Catholicism. And I would have said to her, hey, privately, yeah, he was going to mass sometimes daily. He was going on Sundays. He died with a pendant, but that didn't happen. Anyways, she's asserted that she's a friend of Charlie Kirk. She certainly has worked with Charlie Kirk for years. All that is true. We are natural allies because we are committed to wanting there to be justice and genuinely are both upset by Charlie being no longer here, not seeing where Charlie was supposed to go in his life, having his life cut short in the most traumatic terms possible. But it feels to me that there are some people who only want to use their platforms to dispel something that I am saying that they think is untrue, even when I present proof that it is true. And an example of that is this morning. So yesterday, I said to you guys, as a person who worked at Turning Point USA, who tore, okay, there's not a single person who can say I headlined more Turning Point USA campus tours than Candace Owens. Just, okay, I know what I'm talking about, right? It's a very strange thing to not know what the inner workings are and to then accuse somebody who shows an email, as I did yesterday, that these events are booked the semester before, okay? There's a long waiting list. Everybody wants Charlie
Hey, Vicky.
or Candace, whoever it is, Don Jr., to come to their campus, and they make those requests early. The Turning Point chapters, they have so many of them. And so they are constantly running behind on those requests, and it's a very long process because the administrations at these campuses naturally hate Turning Point USA in particular because Charlie started the organization to disrupt college campuses. So they give these kids a very hard time over everything. When I tell you a hard time, when Charlie and I were speaking at Stanford, the student who put the event together, her grandfather owned one of the buildings at Stanford. Like, her name was on one of the buildings at Stanford University, and they still gave her a hard time pulling this event together, right? It doesn't matter. It's more the sentiment of who you are as a political person and as a political organization, and they will try to stop you. And that is why it is strange, as in it has never happened while I toured for 8 semesters, 2019 summer, 8 semesters with Charlie, like in a row. It's never happened that a college makes a request over the summer when school is closed, because it was, okay, at the end of July, school was not in session, and then it gets honored by Turning Point USA immediately, and then it's on the calendar. Could you imagine the university getting that email? They already hate Charlie Kirk, and they're going to honor it and be like, not only do we want to honor this, we'll give you the first week back to school. Like, that's what they're telling us, and it doesn't make any sense, and I pointed that out, and I showed proof of that. What are you disagreeing with actually? Like, when you jump into this, what is motivating your disagreement would be my question. I will read her tweets, and then I will respond to them. So she does a total false debunking by sharing a private message exchange between her and Charlie. This is what she tweeted. She said, the latest claim is that TPUSA must have been in on Charlie's murder because the UVU campus stop was approved in July. It was not approved in July, it was requested in July. And that's too short of a timeline for an event in September. That is not true. Charlie texted me at the end of August for a campus event in early November. That's about 2 months out. And the reason he didn't specify which campus is because he didn't even know yet. He just knew it was going to be in Alabama. So yes, it does seem like part of this year's campus tour was being put together at the last minute, and UVU being booked over the summer isn't actually unusual. No, hey, would love to have you join us on campus on November 3rd. What does this prove? It proves that Charlie invited her to join him on campus on November 3rd. If he is giving you multiple locations, and I'm telling you this as someone who I worked for this organization, Allie, okay? It's probably because these are this is already approved. They're doing these campuses already. He's asking you which one to choose. Many times these students will be told to hold 2 dates that can possibly work. And they're going to get back to them and confirm and see who's available. They did not start planning that event when Charlie texted you. I can guarantee you that, okay? They did not receive a request from those campuses on that day. It's an absurdity. I don't even know what we're debating. She then follows it up and she says this, since some of you guys are struggling, some people pointed out that's not what Candace said. It's a request that went from UVU chapter to Turning Point USA. She says, since some of you guys are struggling, no venue yet, 2 months out. There's clearly a venue because Charlie is saying in this chat, November 3rd at, Mikey McCoy actually, November 3rd at 6:30 p.m. Either Auburn, which has 5,000 seats, or the University of Southern Alabama. Now, I told you that Charlie and I would divide and conquer, so there'd be multiple events going on the same day. Charlie would headline one, I would headline the other. I will guarantee you, and I checked, they did both of these this semester because that's how it works, okay? He's asking you which one you want to join. They might both be holding the auditoriums that they need to, but this was not being planned when they messaged you. They didn't receive the request the day that they messaged you and say, hey, do you want to make this happen? I don't know what we're doing here. I don't know what the nature of this is. Then you get Lila Rose, who jumps in for no reason at all, other than the fact that she's a committed Christian Zionist. And she says something that's so far off the mark. At least Allie's showing something relevant to Turning Point USA, even though she maybe didn't watch what I said or she's confused about what the conversation was. It's well-meaning, okay? Lila Rose just comes out of left field with like, we're talking about apples and here's an orange. I speak regularly on college campuses as well. She starts with, this is not true. This is not true. What is not true? I showed the email. What is not true? I speak regularly at college campuses as well. As one example, I was just asked to speak at Stanford, and they were going to set the event up within 3 weeks.
You sell it, we ship it. Put the strength of Amazon behind your
I'm not
business.
going-
Transparent rates and
It didn't happen. It didn't materialize. They asked you to speak. What's the context? How many students? And then she goes on and she gives an example. When I debated a few weeks ago at Yale, the event was also planned within 2 months. Okay, so this is what happens when the chief debater, Charlie Kirk, is murdered. We're left with this, the people who can't think through the apples and the oranges. Lila, I am sure that if Taylor Swift tweets that it took her team a year to put together her tour, I'm not going to respond and be like, this is not true. I toured Taylor Swift at campus events, and we were able to pull the event together in 6 months. Apples, oranges. So that Yale event that Lila Rose spoke at was with the Yale Political Union. So it's existed since 1934. It runs like a well-oiled machine. I've spoken at the Oxford Union. They speak in the same place at the same time. They change the people that are speaking. You sit down with them. You have a dinner. This is Oxford again, not Yale. I've not spoken at Yale. You have a dinner and you debate somebody. Okay, it's a debate union. It's what they do and what they've been doing since 1934. Lila had, and here's a picture of it. She's comparing this 70 people that attended this debate to Turning Point USA hosting a debate with thousands of people, sometimes a vice president, sometimes a president. Like, what are you debating? What are you actually, like, when you pause and you think through, what are you debating me on? If you are going to dispute me, simply show me the information of somebody making a request and having it instantly be honored at Turning Point USA, which runs like a machine, absolutely, but these events are big, okay? Ambulances are required. The university has to tell you, okay, well, if you've got 1,500 people, then this is the state law. They have to confirm they're available. This is the insurance that has to be, blah, 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 blah. Not the same thing, Lila, when you are debating an older woman regarding abortion in a political union, okay? It's just not the same. So again, I ask, what is their investment that they are coming undone about me telling the truth? Because now I have to take the time and be Queen Petty and go through every single year dating back to 2018 to tell you when they got the events together, because I can do that. I can do every semester
Queen Petty.
from 2018 until 2024. What's the point here? I'm going to do it. Savannah, I'm sorry, we have to do this. But what's the point of disputing something and saying something is not true when I just told you it's true and I showed you evidence that it's true? You're not even saying, you're just lying, actually, at that point. You're being extremely dishonest, at the very least, to make a video and say he's not becoming Catholic. He was a committed evangelical. Say, I don't know. Just say, I don't know. Why are you making these videos? I actually do know, and I am sharing information that I know because we deserve answers when there are strange anomalies. Now, is it possible that somebody knew somebody and made a phone call and made it happen? Yeah. But we, the public around the world who don't trust what we are being told, would like to know who that somebody was.
Right.
That made that event come together very quickly, faster than I've ever seen an event come together, given how universities act with hostility toward conservative groups that host a lot of people, which is what Charlie was, who Charlie was as a person. He was somebody that was met with hostility by administrations when he went there, okay? Because it meant there were going to be protests. They will burn you in effigy, as they did to Michael Knowles at a Turning Point USA event. There has to be certain parameters that are set to allow these particular events to happen. But I appreciate you sharing your experience, and the next time Taylor Swift tweets about her experience, I'm gonna just be like, not true. Not true. Taylor Swift is like, I can't walk into the mall. I'm like, me neither. That's not true. I walked in, no fans ran up at me, Taylor Swift, so obviously Taylor Swift's lying because it didn't happen to me. It doesn't, as Justin Bieber says, it's not clocking for us, man. Anyways, it is weird to me also that when you look at what they focus on, it seems so petty, but then they look over all of the glaringly obvious lies that were being told about this investigation. Like, they're not making videos going, oh, hey, yeah, spoke to like 10 hunters and a 30-06 should have decapitated him. They don't care about any of that stuff. So are you doing this
Like
because you
the
care
man
about
in
Charlie?
black.
Are you doing this because you care about the investigation? Because if you're going to investigate, investigate. Okay? Send me a text message and ask me a specific question and say, where'd you get this information from? Join the team of people online who I never knew before this, who are investigating this murder and using sources. Do that. Either join us or get out of our way, is what I would say. Because if you're not going to make a video, or you are going to make a video about a glaring obvious hole and then just poo-poo it, which is kind of what Allie did regarding the Fed Discord messages. I watched a clip. She softens it and says, well, even if these are written by the feds, I still think he was murdered by Tyler Robinson. Okay,
Based on
so you're
what,
willing
though?
to give grace to the feds when they're maybe lying, but you can't assume that I'm telling the truth about my experience having worked with an organization and the actual evidence that I have to back up what I'm saying. You have no grace on the matter of whether or not he might have been getting curious about Catholicism. Is the goal to tell the truth? Okay.
Heck
Why aren't you
no.
guys doing shows if you're so interested in debunking lies? Have you done a show about Josh Hammer? When we drop the text messages, did you do a show and go, wow, Josh Hammer really lied about Charlie Kirk's mindset? Because it's starting to feel a little bit like propaganda, and it's the worst type of propaganda to me when you cage it as like Christians shouldn't or Christians should. I'm investigating this, I care about it, and it is my perspective that if you're in my way,
And don't
I'm just gonna breathe
manipulate. And
fire
don't
and
play in
expose
my
the truth.
face.
When I say breathe fire, it just means showing the truth, showing more truth. I'm going to pull up, like I said, every email so that there is no debate or dispute about how long it takes for these events to go together. Okay.
So don't lie.
That's that. I don't love the crickets of these things. Also, I will also mention that Allie has strangely hired Alyssa Cordova, and this is just not a match for me. Alyssa Cordova was formerly the head PR person at Daily Wire, and when I tell you that this woman is evil, it's hard to put into words the things that she has put people through, and she does it for the sport of it. Like, she's one of these people that keeps a folder on her desk, and she intentionally has out-of-context clips, which she then sends to people, a whole little orbit of bees online, like Ian Miles Chong, who's like a despicable human being, and says, like, attack this person. And she'll do this, by the way, even if you're working with her. Like, she will undercut you and do these sorts of things. And so when I see this kind of turn, and I see that Alyssa Cordova is working with you, I'm wondering if this is just kind of like Zionist nastiness. I think I've been extremely gracious to the different perspectives that we have. If we are all committed to truth, we are obviously able to debate. And I'm happy, by the way, I'll add this as well, to have Allie or Lila Rose on this show tomorrow, if you guys would like to debate what I have presented thus far, in addition to me telling you how Turning Point USA operates their events. I'm happy to do that and bring the evidence
Not a
of what I'm
good
saying.
time to be
That
on the
always stands
bad
open.
side.
You
This
will
is
have a
not
platform if you are committed to
going anywhere.
truth. My platform is your
Well, I
platform.
think
Now,
that they,
speaking of PR and people who
I think there's some people, one, who don't want the truth to come out because it's exposing the cult. And then two, I think that although Charlie fired her, they were still close. And so some of these people still have some jealousy going on up in there and resentment. So what I think I'm hearing from Allie is resentment and not wanting to expose the cult. I mean, because what we're seeing, what we're hearing, we hear that all the time. We hear that over here. They move the goalposts. I mean, they can know the truth and still. I mean, it's like the guy who came in here when we were talking about the tariffs and the stealing of the tariff money, and he said they both wrong. Both sides are wrong. Well, this is not about both sides. Why would you even bring this up? Both sides did not steal the trillions. Trump did. I mean, they could know the truth. They're still going to play into it. Oh well, I still think it's both sides. You know, that type of stuff. Yeah, because you're a liar and you have integrity issues and resentment and jealousy issues. I think that they're still jealous of their relationship, their friendship. They weathered their storm. Charlie was coming to terms with he didn't see it when her light came on, but his light came on, and before his light came fully on, he reached out to her and was about to bring her back. So all of that is factored in with catty females. That's just my opinion, because what I'm hearing is no reason for them to be attacking Candace other than jealousy and other than she knew him best, which is why she's going the hardest.
should maybe get into it. Alex Clark needs a raise. I don't even know what she's doing over at Turning Point USA. This gets back into, Erika Kirk as the CEO. People are
Right, Specs.
We watched her lie. Okay, we watched her lie about the Catholic thing. We're supposed to just feel good about that and think that she's traumatized, but she wasn't traumatized when she wore boots and stood outside for Wall Street Journal to click a picture of her a couple of days after Charlie died. I don't know. It feels like she was good, and she's a star now and tried to hard launch her podcast. She actually tweeted a couple of things the last couple of days.
Thank you, Charles McCarthy.
Dripping with anger
Charlie's
towards people that are asking
wife
meaningful
says
questions.
she is
Here's
full of
one thing
shit.
she wrote. Let me tell you something
Candace,
about Mikey. He's
I've never
just
seen
kidding.
that.
She didn't say that. I'm one of the longest tenured employees now at the
Charles.
organization, and Mikey has a servant's heart. If ever I've seen one, you know why
I've
he
never
went to
seen it.
Korea and Japan? Because my boss, our productions director, who is the father of 6 children, asked him to. He is always traveling with me a good
Well, thank
portion
you
of it.
for,
He
the
missed his
super
kids,
chat.
and he asked Mikey to please go and film instead. Okay, I'm just gonna say, I think he probably went to Japan and Korea because it's an awesome opportunity. I don't know. I'm just a person who's been around a lot, and if I said, "Hey, do you guys want to go to Japan?" Hip hip hooray! It's amazing. It's not exactly, going to build a house. What is it? House for Habitat houses, whatever it's called, House for Habitat in the middle of the jungle or something like that. I think this is a pretty exciting opportunity, and so I don't understand why we just can't get basic answers about Mikey McCoy that would allow us to just move on from how we are feeling about his behavior following
Right.
things and the things that were said about him following things, which make us feel like they were priming him to take over for Charlie. And we heard these things from his father. We heard these things from people at Turning Point USA. And if you're looking for a fact, he took over for Charlie, who was slated to speak at Liberty University. Okay, that's just a fact. Alex Clark also threw shade at us, and it's kind of incredible that she said this working for Turning Point USA. Here's what she wrote. Oh, on every podcast tribute episode I did about Charlie, I did not run my ad sponsorships. My directive and choice to my team, we are now in debt to my sponsors. I didn't care. It felt like the right thing to do. Okay, so Turning Point made something like $90 million in the couple of weeks following Charlie's death. I think I first heard it was 70 million. It's gone up since then. They were selling like t-shirts at the memorial event, like Freedom Charlie t-shirts. They were selling products. And she is speaking about his death and running ads is problematic. Now, first and foremost, on our tribute episode, we ran absolutely zero ads. We didn't even let YouTube run ads on that episode. So this is not a tribute episode. This is my podcast, and we're investigating this murder. And every person who is doing podcasts, whether it's Ali speaking about his Catholic journey, Lila speaking about what happened, whether they're whatever context they're putting it into, whether it's PBD and his team, which spoke a lot about Charlie Kirk after he died. Why are you looking at me as being the person who's reading my ads? What are you pretending you made some huge sacrifice because for a couple of episodes you didn't run ads? This is what I mean. There's just so much inauthenticity coming out of this company right now. I'm such a good person. Look at me. Like, I didn't read ads on 2 of my episodes, but I did do this Wall Street Journal thing and try to hard launch my podcast a couple days after he died. But look at me. I declined to do. What was the total amount that you postponed, by the way?
Yeah, I
Declined it. You
mean, they need
postponed
to be
having
putting
read
their
ads
energy
and said that you
on the
made them up
man on the
later.
roof
It's just
and
there's something that really
the 2
bothers me about
t-shirt. I mean,
this.
it's just,
You know, they're angry at people who are investigating Charlie's death and catching them in lies.
facts.
That's why she's mad. She's mad because she lied about me on her podcast, and I called it out. Okay? If you don't lie on me, I won't have to call it out. If you don't tell lies about things that took place, about things that were happening at Turning Point USA, at the reason why Charlie wanted a Doge as she did. Oh, we do this no, you don't do a Doge every year. You wanna know how I know that? Because Doge didn't exist before Elon Musk. So it's like, what are you saying? They want us to pretend we're really dumb. And it's emotionally manipulative for them to be like, that's how you honor Charlie. Pretend to be an idiot. Pretend to not know how accounts work. Pretend to not know what it means when we say certain things and then change our stories multiple times. Pretend like it's just beyond the pale that Candace would suggest that we're engaging in a cover-up. Yes, I did say that. I didn't say that Mikey murdered Charlie Kirk. I said Turning Point is engaged in a cover-up because that is literally the only reason that people lie. Anytime you lie, it's because you're covering up the truth. You're engaging in a cover-up, even if it's a white lie. Even if I say, I'm trying to surprise a friend for a birthday party, and I tell her, I'm the only one that's going to be there, meet me here, it's a lie because I'm covering up a certain truth, right? That is what lies are for. There is no other reason to lie unless you're covering something up. So when you lied about the Catholicism thing, it wasn't because you murdered Charlie Kirk, Alex. It was because, likely, you guys were more concerned with your Christian Zionist donors and also pressure from your Jewish donors. And so you just lied to cover up the truth about where Charlie was at. Turning Point USA is telling a lot of lies. They're engaged in a cover-up. I said it. I am putting my name on that. I will not be apologizing for what I said. Come forth with the truth or don't, okay? And if you don't, we're just going to keep investigating and see how you feel about it. Take a quick break and I'll get to some of your comments. All right, you guys, I want to remind you about Paleo Valley because something my team and I are always craving are their beef sticks, specifically the ones that they make with 100% grass-fed beef sourced from small-scale regenerative American farms, so you can feel good about what you're eating and what you're supporting. They've stripped out all the junk, so they're...
Yeah, Charles, yeah, she has been upfront and honest that if his wife asked her to stop, she would, but she hasn't. So
ingredients. And best of all,
I don't
it's me.
necessarily
It's because we hit a nerve.
agree with that.
Luck.
And I don't know where you got that, but all she has to do is ask her to stop, and she said she would.
Nerve. And so we should focus our attention on how that event came together. Skincare.com. By the way, I do want to say this. Whenever they send all the dogs out about something very relatively minor, like me saying that this event came together too quickly, there's something there. Like, we now need to figure out exactly who put this event
what
together.
is it about?
Because I just feel like money is being spent for everyone to freak out about something so minor. That just tends to be the pattern, like I was saying about the Egyptian planes. When they overreact, it's because we hit a nerve. And so we should focus our attention on how that event came together. If you work for the UVU Turning Point USA chapter and you would like to come forward, please email us at moretips@CandaceOwens.com and let us know how that event came together, who requested it specifically. I've got a feeling about that. We're close because they're even talking about lawyers. I mean, Alyssa Cordova, this PR girl actually wrote this. If we could pull up that tweet. I hope you're, no, the other one where she says, did you pull her other tweet where she's like, I don't know the inner workings at Turning Point USA, but here it is. I don't have direct knowledge, but I assume there are non-disparagement agreements in place between Turning Point and Candace Owens because of TPUSA's business arrangement with Flexit. Weird that she knows that we have a business arrangement with Flexit, but she's saying that, and it's kind of like dangling, like, we could sue you. Sue me. Sue me. I want subpoena power. I want all of your messages. Please do me a favor today on the Charlie Kirk case. I've been clear. I want all of the smoke from all of you. I don't think you realize how real life this is for me. I went back and listened so hard. I was like, girl, don't care at all. Do not care at all. I'm over it. We're in a new time. It literally is God time, okay? All of this stuff, and that's how she operates, by the way. She can treat you really evil, but there's an NDA preventing you, so you got to allow her to abuse you. We're not doing this anymore, Alyssa. We're not doing this anymore. Whatever company needs to hear this today, okay? You are no longer allowed to engage in sheer evil. You are no longer allowed to behave like Satan's children and then make little legal threats, okay? Anything that gets sent to me from a lawyer is now publicized. That's it. Don't care who you are. If you're watching this and you're going, should I screen record this and send it to a lawyer? You probably should. Anything that you send to me is now public. Satan's time is done. It's done, okay? Shouldn't have shot Charlie Kirk. Just shouldn't have killed Charlie Kirk. That's what I would say. Anyways, top comment from yesterday was somewhere Brigitte Macron is breathing a sigh of relief. I don't know, man. Now that the podcast has gone number one, people are going to go back and watch the Brigitte Macron series, and once you watch it, you just know. You're like, she's a dude, obviously. It's such a bizarre thing, like the media's been lying about that. It's like a really big secret. It's like it's the elephant in the room. Dinesh just, by the way, added this on X. He wrote, at this point, anyone who this freak show is doing it for the entertainment. This is not political commentary. It's midget bowling. Why does he always write weird stuff? Hard to watch, but hard to look away from because there's a midget flying down the aisle, heading for pins. Dinesh, where are you seeing all this stuff? Before he made the reference to a goat having sex with a human, and he keeps using these weird analogies. Like, I just think they gotta look at his hard drive. I'm gonna call the FBI. I'm gonna call Kash Patel if he's done crying about the mean tweets on the internet for his girlfriend, and I'm gonna call the FBI. Anyways, going back into some of your comments, we have Just Keep in Faith writes, when you said you are the number one podcast in the world, it brought a tear to my eye, but I knew that. I mean, I didn't know, but I knew. Honestly, it brought a tear to my eye when I found out because we've just been fighting and we don't look up and look at the stats and follow the stats every day. And we obviously knew that we had become in like the top 3 podcasts pretty quickly in the United States. But when you're fighting and you're building and you're constantly under pressure, you're constantly in a pressure cooker, it's kind of difficult to find a moment to peek your head up and to celebrate anything. And that really felt like this moment. So I was very, very excited. Thank you guys so much for supporting us and allowing us to be truly independent. Michael Reese writes, from East Tennessee to you. We are German. We appreciate your work. Keep standing up to the 7K Club. We have your back. Michael and Wayne, thank you so much, Michael and Wayne. I will continue to stand up to them. And I think we are winning because they're very angry, and I don't know what they're attacking me over at this point. Laughing Cats writes, #1 podcaster, if you're a so-called freak per Dinesh, then so are we. I love that you show Erika love and support. I do wish there was some sign that we could detect that she sees the lies that we see, we as in the millions upon millions, making you the #1 podcaster. Yeah, I'm hopeful in the future we are going to know what she knows. Obviously, she is privy as a next of kin to the lawsuits. She's privy, to the prosecution. She can see what evidence they actually have and what they're building their case upon. Everything we have seen has just been.
Today we're here with Hoka and So Far Chicago for Together at Tempo, and we are doing a community run with Peace Runners Club, Chicago-based. We're just bringing in the movement, the creativity, the community all in one evenings, and I'm so excited, as Shawnee does, to be a part of this moment. 3, 2, 1. Movement and creativity is so important. They go hand in hand. I've written a lot of music while moving. There's such a mental clarity that comes from the tempo of how you're stepping or the scenery that you might be engulfed in. When we think about creativity, we're thinking about something in flow, whether it...
I don't know. It's been one big nothing burger. Tom Paul writes, Andrew.
I'm sorry, I missed it.
I knew. Honestly, it brought a tear to my eye when I found out because we've just been fighting and we don't look up and look at the stats. Why does he always write weird stuff? Hard to watch, but hard to look away from because there's a midget flying down the aisle heading for pins. Dinesh, where are you seeing all this stuff? Before he made the reference to a goat having sex with a human,
What?
and he keeps using these weird analogies. Like, I just think they gotta look at his hard drive. I'm gonna call the FBI.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna call Kash Patel if he's done crying
Hey,
about
Susan.
the mean tweets on the internet for his girlfriend, and I'm gonna call the FBI. Anyways, going back into some of your comments, we have Just Keep in Faith writes, when you said you are the #1 podcast in the world, it brought a tear to my eye, but I knew that. I mean, I didn't know, but I knew. Honestly, it brought a tear to my eye when I found out because we've just been
going
fighting
hard.
and we don't look up and look at the stats and follow the stats every day. And we obviously knew that we had become in like the top 3 podcasts pretty quickly in the United States. But when you're fighting and you're building and you're constantly under pressure, you're constantly in a pressure cooker, it's kind of difficult to find a moment to
She is
peek your head
fighting
up
hard.
and to celebrate anything. And that really felt like this moment. So I was very, very excited. Thank you guys so much for supporting us and
Congratulations.
allowing us to be truly independent. Michael Reese writes, from East Tennessee to you. We are German. We appreciate your work. Keep standing up to the 7K Club. We have your back. Michael and Wayne, thank you so much, Michael and Wayne. I will continue to stand up to them. And I think we are winning because they're very angry, and I don't even know what they're attacking me over at this point. Laughing Cats writes, #1
yes, you
podcaster.
do.
If you're a so
They're attacking you because of the truth. Yeah, if they're Zionists and they worship all of those, and they opposite of God, they despise the truth. So that is why they're attacking you, and they want you to go away so that their plot, their plan can go forward. It cannot when you are investigating and the truth is surfacing. Yeah. Yes. They have to pause. And the only thing they can do right now is attack Candace. Absolutely.
called freak per Dinesh, and so are we. I love that you show Erika love and support. I do wish there was some sign that we could detect that she sees the lies that we see, we as in the millions upon millions, making you the #1 podcaster. Yeah, I'm hopeful in the future we are going to know what she knows. Obviously, she is privy as a next of kin to the lawsuits. She's privy, to the prosecution. She can see what evidence they actually have and what they're building their case upon. Everything we have seen has just been,
them dirty.
I don't know.
They
It's
don't
just,
know what to
it's been
do.
one big nothing burger.
Mm-mm.
Tom Paul
And
writes,
she
Andrew
bold
Colbert
about it.
on Alex Clark's
And
show
she's matter of
discussed
fact,
how Charlie's heart was still beating.
unapologetically.
How did Charlie instantly go to heaven if he had a pulse? Erica first saw Charlie at an airport in Israel in May of 2018 with her mom. There is an old video of her talking about it. Yeah, I think I saw that video. I think they spoke about that even in other videos they've done together. I think I was with Charlie, by the way. That might have been for the embassy opening. I don't remember anything, though. My memory, I promise, after having children, I can't remember specific things. I always have to go back and check an email. Might have been for the embassy opening. I'm not positive. But yes, regarding that heart still beating, if he instantly went to heaven, didn't Andrew offer up an explanation? This was kind of one of the things why people were asking,
Oh, boy
how
said
did he
he
go
was
into
dead.
surgery? Because they explained that he had died instantly. It wasn't just Erica, by the way. Frank Turek
Mm-hmm.
said it on stage, that he knew in the car that he was gone, but maybe he still had a pulse. Again, this would be a great thing, since they mentioned it, for Andrew or Frank Turek to respond to. It's a very easy thing for them to respond to clear up
Yeah, oh, boy said that they
some
just killed
confusion.
Charlie,
Jesse
and he
Webb writes, the
was
amazing,
still in that
heroic, outstanding,
black
fearless,
SUV.
talented, intelligent, and beautiful Queen Candace of podcasts. Take a bow. Nothing can stop you. The people have spoken, and we choose truth and light over lies and darkness. Christ is King. I really do love that it feels like we are in a moment of truth and light. A lot is being revealed. It can feel stressful. It is certainly frustrating, especially for me, to have myself constantly taken out of context and to have people just so willfully lying about me telling the truth. But I do know that there's just something else happening spiritually right now, and we are all barreling toward the light. I really do feel that way. The demons shriek the loudest when they are in the light. Brad Atkins writes, praying for you in South Carolina. The Lord Jesus Christ is King. Thank you, Brad. MD Turner writes, you are top, even though Australian moronic leaders won't let you in. Keep at them. Well, I get to reapply in like a year or so. Lessen the sting of losing Charlie. Our brains are designed this way for our protection, so please do not let the little foxes distract you from the mission. God.
I would say spiritually, if his resting place is above, he would be proud of he would be proud of her, knowing that she was solid, she was honest, and she did not stand for no smoke and mirrors, no propaganda, no lies. She has just been solid. Now, what she was before this and how she, that's true too. But right now, what I can say is she has been solid. She has been the most credible source to the Charlie Kirk investigation. And I'm going to be honest. And if pressure is in the bushes, you know, although he played with God, or he was manipulated with God, and, he allowed his dreams and his vision to sway, interacting with this Zionist mess. I will say her intense investigation, her intense honesty about the cult has allowed me to have a lot more compassion, empathy, and even love for Charlie. I am really concerned about them taking him out, and I am really into his justice, his real justice, his true justice. And it's because she has honestly explained the journey. And because of him, it allowed us to see how they are playing with God. So, yeah, I really care about his real justice. yeah. Now, I don't think I would have said this a month or so ago, but yeah, he deserves justice. Anytime I can see that they have played not only with him, they've played with design and stuff. I mean, they are trying to rewrite the Bible. And I think more people understand now that there is this fake Israel just because they changed the name and named it. It was something else. I didn't realize that this video was so long, but I have a video part that spoke about just because they named it Israel do not mean it's biblical. And when I saw that, I said exactly, because they named it Israel on purpose to confuse Christians. And so I could only imagine, just like grown people that has been in the word for years was thinking the same thing, right? Some of them still do. They named it Israel on purpose to confuse, to draw in Christians, to slaughter, to manipulate, offer them millions of dollars, knowing that the root of evil is money. Money is not evil, but the root of it. And that manipulation and the bait. So yeah. And I do have it. Maybe I'll play it tomorrow.
At your back, let's go, Candio. Thank you so much. I am not distracted. This is the one thing they can't distract me on. Trust me.
Now play.
Yeah, I'm sleepy.
You can call me Bird.
Yeah, she's determined.
I got it on my way.
I just hope her husband is
They have
supporting
no power
her.
here, truly. When it comes to figuring out what happened, I will be relentless. I'm typically relentless over matters that don't have as much significance to my life, personally. Brigitte Macron. I mean, that's a broader issue with perverts in power, but this one is...
Okay,
it
let
is
me
just so
see
sinister,
if I
so
got about
evil,
10
It's
minutes.
incomprehensible to consider
Because I don't
what must be
think
true
it was long.
to allow
Let me
for all
see
of this
what it
shade
said.
that
I
the people
didn't
who are
watch it.
asking questions are
Hold
getting.
on.
And I just have...
I will exit on this. I know I pinned it, but I know it said just because they named it Israel do not mean it's biblical. And I said, perfect. What is it about? Modern Israel. Okay, so that one is 20. And it even says must. Let's see what this one says. 11 minutes. And then we'll leave on this.
What if the biggest assumption in modern Christianity was wrong? What if the modern state of Israel, the one you see in the news, waving flags, fighting wars, shaping geopolitics, was not the Israel the Bible spoke of, not the Israel that wrestled with God, not the Israel that wandered in the wilderness? What if the biggest assumption in modern Christianity was wrong? What if the modern state of Israel, the one you see in the news, waving flags, fighting wars, shaping geopolitics, was not the Israel the Bible spoke of, not the Israel that wrestled with God, not the Israel that wandered in the wilderness for 40 years, not the Israel that received the law at Sinai or the promises of the prophets? It looks the same in name, but not in nature. And if you stay with me, I'll show you, through scripture, why modern Israel is not biblical Israel. Ask any churchgoer today, any
Now
pastor,
some of them think it
elder,
is.
Sunday school teacher, who is Israel? And almost instinctively, you'll hear the same answer.
Bipolar 1 can overwhelm your mind. Sometimes, depressive load.
The Jewish people, the nation state established in 1948. A people with a long, painful history. Exile, pogroms, Holocaust, rebirth. They'll say, look, they returned to the land. Just like prophecy said. Isn't that proof of God's faithfulness? It sounds convincing. It feels reverent. And above all, it sounds biblical. Genesis chapter 12 verses 3 gets quoted like a national anthem. I will bless those who bless you and curse those who curse you. It's on bumper stickers. It's in campaign speeches. It's tattooed on the conscience of Western Christianity. Politicians say it with conviction. Preachers shout it from pulpits. And donors, they write checks in the name of it. Because for decades, we've been told, to bless modern Israel is to bless God himself. But here's the question no one dares to ask. Is that promise still active in the way we think it is? Is Israel today the modern nation with tanks, jets, and a seat at the United Nations really the same Israel God spoke to 4,000 years ago? Or did God do something deeper, something unexpected, something new, something that doesn't fit into a map, but fits into a Messiah? Before the flags, before the wars, before the land was ever fought over, there was a man. His name was Jacob, a deceiver, a struggler, a man on the run until he wrestled with God himself. And in that divine midnight battle, God did something more than wound him. He renamed him. You shall no longer be called Jacob, but Israel, because you have wrestled with God and with men, and you have prevailed. That's where it all began. Not with tanks or treaties, but with one man, limping, yet chosen. From him came 12 sons, 12 tribes, a family that would become a people, a nation born from a promise. God said to them, you will be my treasured possession among all peoples, a kingdom of priests, a holy nation. But there was a condition: obedience, faithfulness, justice, mercy.
Hi.
This wasn't a blank check. This was a covenant. And
You got to
Israel,
be honest and
time
call it
time
what it
again,
is.
broke it. They didn't just forget
Confront
God,
the evil
they rebelled against him.
and not make
They
excuses
bowed
for it.
to idols made of stone. They sacrificed their children in fire. They traded righteousness for ritual.
They did what? Hold
And
on.
they built temples while
Hold
the
on.
poor starved.
Hold on.
Mercy. This wasn't a blank check. This was a covenant. And Israel, time and time again, broke it. They didn't just forget God, they rebelled against him. They bowed to idols made of stone. They sacrificed their children in fire. They traded righteousness for ritual. And they built temples while the poor starved outside their gates.
That's what the Bahamian Grove is. They worship idols. They sacrifice kids. They do those rituals. That's what they do. That's what's in the Epstein files.
They didn't just forget God, they rebelled against him. They bowed to idols made of stone. They sacrificed their children in fire. They traded righteousness for ritual. And they built temples while the poor starved outside their gates.
That's
So
Trump.
what did God do? He didn't abandon them. He didn't erase them. He sent prophets. Jeremiah weeping in the ruins. Isaiah crying out for justice. Amos condemning the wealthy who crush the poor. Hosea loving a faithless people like a groom loves a wayward bride. And through their voices, a new word began to echo. Remnant, a faithful few, a purified people. Not all of Israel, but a slice of it. The ones who still fear God, even when the nation forgot him. And with that word came a promise. Not a return to the old covenant, but the arrival of a new one. I will put my law within them, God said, and I will write it on their hearts. The future of Israel was no longer written in stone, but in spirit. Then Jesus came, not as a Roman revolutionary, not as a political liberator, but as the embodiment of Israel itself. Matthew calls him God's son out of Egypt. John calls him the true vine. Paul calls him the second Adam. He walks in the footsteps of Israel's history. 40 days in the wilderness, 12 disciples, law fulfilled, prophets completed. But then he says something radical. In Matthew chapter 21, verses 43, he turns to the religious leaders and says, "The kingdom of God will be taken away from you and given to a people who will bear its fruit." He doesn't say it will return to your descendants. He says it will go to another people. And who are they? Those who believe, those who follow, those in Christ. Galatians chapter 3, verses 29 makes it clear.
So
If
we
you
know
belong-
right there that it's not the Zionists. Or we know right there that it's not the Zionists. So why they want to attach their name to the Christian Zionists? No, because y'all don't believe in God. Y'all don't follow Christ. Y'all are totally opposite. Yeah, so no. So right off the bat, we know that what they are doing is opposite of God. So they are not the chosen.
will go to another people. And who are they? Those who believe, those who follow, those in Christ. Galatians chapter 3, verses 29 makes it clear. If you belong to Christ, then you are Abraham's seed and heirs according to the promise. This is the new Israel.
We often
The
hear
new
the deep
Israel.
state, the deep state,
And,
the deep state.
and the
But
Bible
what is
talks
this
about
deep
the
state?
old
What are
one.
these people? And why are they doing it?
Not one based on blood.
So I suggest that based on your question that you asked, our prayers, if you're a believer in Jesus Christ, then our prayers need to change according to what knowledge we are coming into right now. Our prayers need to change. Our cry to God needs to change. Yeah, so because we are no longer in the dark about the truth with this fake Israel. See, this video says new Israel. I'ma call it what it is, and it's the fake Israel. It's fake. I'm not gonna make it cute. I'm gonna call it what it is, and it is deceptive. It is not real. It is not new. It's intentional sabotage, manipulation, and it's a play on God and His promise. It's a play on the gospel. So no. So our prayers have to change accordingly. You're welcome. Is it a Sheen? You're welcome.
But on belief, not on ancestry, but on allegiance to the Messiah. In 1948, a new nation emerged.
A new nation.
Israel, born after war, trauma, and political maneuvering. It was a monumental moment in history. But was it the fulfillment of biblical prophecy? Or was it the result of British colonial interests, European guilt, and geopolitical strategy?
And
Here's the
greed.
uncomfortable truth. The modern state of Israel is a political nation state.
Absolutely.
It has real people, real pain, real resilience. But it is not the same as biblical Israel. The biblical promises of covenant, of land, of restoration were always conditional, always spiritual, always pointing to Christ. And the New Testament affirms this over and over again. Romans chapter 9 verses 6 says, "For not all who are descended from Israel belong to Israel." Let that sink in. Paul says something shocking in Galatians 6:16. So
Because
shocking, most
Netanyahu
never
from
pause
Poland,
long enough to see it. He writes,
Poland,
peace and
Philly,
mercy
and New
to
York.
all who follow this rule, to the Israel of God. Wait, the Israel of God? Not the state of Israel,
Not the state.
not the bloodline of Jacob, not a passport, a language, or
Yeah, not the state
peace
of
and
Israel.
mercy to all who follow this rule, to the Israel of God. Wait, the Israel of God? Not the state of Israel, not the bloodline of Jacob, not a passport, a language, or a border, but a people defined by faith. Paul isn't being poetic. He's being prophetic. This isn't metaphor. This is identity. In Christ, the definition of Israel is not destroyed. It's fulfilled, upgraded, completed, transformed. The covenants? No longer ink on scrolls, but fire on hearts. The promises? No longer inherited by blood.
So what is their heart? So their heart is genocide. Their heart is hardened. So we know this is not of Christ, right? So there should be no confusion, because none of what they are doing is of Christ. They've just taken over. And we have to stay true to that. And we can't deviate from it. And we definitely cannot make excuses for the lie. And you have to stand solid on the truth. Because Christ is the light, the truth, and the way. He is not of darkness.
But access by belief. Jew or Gentile, slave or free, male or female. The dividing wall, Paul says, is torn down, not by Caesar, not by Moses, but by a cross. No more ethnic privilege, no more sacred geography, no more rituals without repentance. Now, all who are in Christ, they are the true seed of Abraham, the true heirs of the promise, the ones grafted in by grace, not genealogy, the Israel of God, one body, one spirit.
At Shane Company, we want you to feel at
One
home.
body,
We're
one
here to make
spirit.
creating your dream engagement ring fun without any of the pressure. We don't work on commission. We're all
One Lord, and there is only one path left now. Not Zionism, not nationalism, not ethnicity, but faith in the Messiah. So let's speak plainly now. Let's draw the line with clarity, not cruelty. Modern Israel is real. It is a nation with borders, with
It's just
citizens,
not
with
biblical.
struggles and strength. It holds weight in global politics. Its history is long, its pain undeniable. But it is not biblical Israel, not in the covenantal sense, not in the prophetic sense, not in the redemptive plan of God, apart from Christ. Because the true Israel was never about a piece of land. It was always about a piece of the heart. It is not defined by geography, but by grace, not marked by a passport, but by a promise kept and sealed in the blood of Jesus Christ. And if that truth offends your tradition, if it rattles your theology, if it makes you uncomfortable, good. Because truth was never meant to protect comfort. It was meant to pierce illusion. Truth is not loyal to tradition. It is loyal to the word of God.
Absolutely.
So the next time someone says, stand with Israel, pause, look deeper, and ask the question that shatters assumptions. Which Israel? If this shook your theology, you're not alone. Let's keep digging. Let's keep searching. Let's go back to the scriptures. Subscribe to the Chronist.
Yeah,
Drop your
so
thoughts.
New Israel is not biblical Israel. 1948 Israel, And if you've been around here for a little bit, I will say 1948 Israel. I would call it the fake Israel. So what we're seeing right now, the challenges from the U.S. and pro-Israel, Christian Zion. I mean, why would they have to attach their name or their religion to Christianity? Why? Why can't Zionists stand alone? So yeah, I hope that helps. But I think we have to stay solid in it. We have to tap into it. We have to separate it. This is good and evil. This is not about two brothers. It is not about two brothers. I played a video about that, and we went to scriptures. Esau forgave. He embraced. When Joshua got whooped by God, and his name was changed, and his brother came. He thought he was coming for war, and he came and embraced him, loved and forgave him. So right there, we know this is not about two brothers, but that's the lie that they have manipulated. And that scripture, he embraced him. Thank you, Specs. Some of my best work. Thank you. I really, really appreciate it. I really, really do. I really do. So we're going to stay solid, and I will try to bring in truth as much as possible, because as much as they lie is as much as we need to put the truth out there. Okay, good people. I hope we had some good tea tonight. It was good to me. It was good to me. The devil hates the truth. He hates the truth. You was here for that. Yeah, you wasn't joking or kidding or playing around or none of that. We kind of got serious up in here, didn't we? I love it. Thank you, Lord. I'm just thankful. I'm just thankful, that God allowed me or used me to be a vessel. Little old me, full of love, and desire to spread the truth, And it hadn't always been that way. So, I just thank God for using me. See, like right now, I'm finna get emotional. And I just don't see that in that girl. I just knowing the love of God, and just thinking about, just being used by God. Well, it should bring a tear to your eyes and your heart, because I love the Lord and I'm thankful. And I just don't see that in her. But we all own, we're not the same. So all I'm gonna do is pray, and redirect my prayers, and ask God to shut it down. Shut it down. Yeah, we do. I ain't, look at that. I wouldn't even entertain her. I would not entertain Candace. I was like, something's wrong with her. I would not. Yes. Yes. Look at God. But God. But God. And won't let nobody talk about her. Woo. Okay, y'all, let me get some sleep. If y'all saw how I was laying across this bed right now, y'all would be laughing at me. But y'all have a good one. I will see y'all tomorrow. Mwah.